Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Live Action just put out a video, Is Pro-Life Just Pro-Birth? And I'm going to link to it below, and she says a lot of good things, but I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to stop at a certain point that I don't think got elaborated on quite enough. So let's listen, then I'm going to stop, then I'm going to elaborate.
You're not pro-life, you're just pro-birth. Have you ever heard that? I've heard this criticism in numerous iterations throughout the years. Pro-lifers care so much about the fetus before birth, but they don't give a rip about them after they are born.
Okay. Pro-lifers get accused of having this laser focus on the fetus, and that to the pro-lifer, the woman just doesn't exist. She's just an incubator. But in actual practice, the exact opposite is true. It's the abortion facilities that see the woman as a container with a fetus in it, and the pro-life center that views the woman as a uniquely valuable individual with complex needs, complex strengths, and that they remain interested in helping her long after the fetus is out of her body, regardless of whether that fetus is out of her body because she aborted it or out of her body because she gave birth. Now, let me explain what's happening with the abortion clinic and why the women really don't matter. The fetuses do. In an abortion clinic, they do abortions. It's like you go to Jiffy Lube, they do lube jobs. They don't do transmissions. They don't sell tires. All they do is drain your oil, put more oil in, and kind of do a little, top off the fluids type thing. They're not full service. They're not there to do everything that your car might need. And an abortion clinic, kind of think of it as the gynecological Jiffy Lube. They're just in there to yank out the fetus and send you on your way. So when the woman comes in, all they're concerned about is she pregnant and does she have the money? Okay, those are the only two things that matter. And if you follow this channel, you'll see pretty well those are the only two things that matter. And until home pregnancy tests, when the woman could verify on herself she was pregnant, they weren't even fussy about there actually being a fetus there. Does she think there's a fetus, and does she have the money was sufficient? They were perfectly happy to sell abortions to women that they knew weren't pregnant. Okay? So if all you do is remove fetuses so as to kill them, if all you do is abortions, it's like the old German saying to somebody who only has a hammer, everything is a nail. If all you've got is RU-486, a suction machine, and some Beer's forceps, and a giant amniocentesis needle, if that's all you've got in your toolkit, all you're going to do all day long is kill fetuses. And why the woman is there to get a dead fetus is not your problem. It's the fetus is there, my job to kill it. So it doesn't matter whether it's financial problems, relationship problems, she's being trafficked, she's being abused by her soccer coach. None of that matters. Nothing that's actually happening in the woman's life is relevant. The only thing that's relevant is she contains a fetus and she has money that she'll pay you to get rid of it in a dead way, okay? Not in a, let's deliver the baby and place it for adoption, or let's deliver the baby and you take it home after it comes out of the NICU. And their focus on the fetus is so profound that once that fetus is out of her body, they pretty much lose interest in her. If you follow this channel, if you follow my blog, a lot of the problems happen either in the recovery room or after they send her home. That women aren't properly monitored in recovery. They've got no equipment monitoring them. They've got no nurse monitoring them. They'll just leave them unattended and come back a couple hours later and she's not breathing. It's like, oh, crap. We can't sell her any more abortions, can we? Now we're going to get sued. Okay, and there have been cases where the women have been shoved out the door to die. These women were obviously suffering life-threatening complications and they're just sent on their way. Okay? So the abortion clinic is only interested in that woman as long as she contains a fetus and has money to pay for getting rid of it. That's all she needs. That's all they care about. Now she goes to the pro-life center. They are your full service center. The only thing they don't do is kill the fetus. They'll help her with her finances. They'll help her with her education. They'll help her with her child care. They'll help her get medical care. Does she need to go to a battered women's shelter? Do we need to get the funny uncle out of the house so that he's not getting her pregnant again and again and again? What's happening in her life that needs to be fixed? And it has to be that way because you have to address all the problems that are pointing her toward that abortion table. If you leave any of those needs unmet, she's going to head down to the clinic where, again, all they're going to ask is there a fetus? Do you have the money? Okay? So the pro-lifers have to see the woman as a unique and valuable human being, or she's going to climb on the abortion table. But the thing is, even though it's not necessary, even after this issue's been resolved, either she's decided to have the baby or she's gone ahead with the abortion, the pro-life center still cares about her. Okay? Suzanne Logan, who botched anesthesia during an abortion. It left her mute and paralyzed in a nursing home. It wasn't pro-choicers who bought her the expensive communication device and visited her there. It was the pro-lifers, the people who, she killed her baby. But look at her, she needs us. And they went there and they helped her. Pro-life centers pay for post-abortion aftercare. The woman calls the clinic, they tell her there's no problem. If she walks into a pro-life clinic, they're going to get her the aftercare she needs so that, she doesn't die. She doesn't end up with a colostomy. So even if she has the abortion, they're there for her. They're there with abortion pill reversal if she changes her mind. They'll help her get somebody who'll take the laminaria out so she can try to continue to term if she changes her mind partway into a later abortion. And it is routine for pregnancy centers to continue to provide follow-up until the baby is around 2 years old. And frankly, if the woman's still interested, they're not going to lose interest because by then they've developed a relationship with her. They care about her. She's somebody that they've been walking beside her for years now. They're not going to say, okay, Junior's 2, bye. So, the idea that pro-lifers are obsessed with fetuses, it's the opposite. The pro-lifers are actually obsessed with the women, with what can we do to help. You have hyperemesis gravidarum. Okay, let's get you hooked up with a specialist. You're being sex trafficked. Let's get you out of that situation. You're afraid your parents are going to be so disappointed that they're going to throw you out of the house. Okay, we'll help you go to your parents. They're probably going to be a lot more understanding than you think. You're facing pregnancy discrimination. Whatever her problems are, they're there to walk through that with her. It's the abortion clinics that are obsessed with fetuses, 100%.